Bam!
What's going on, fans? Once again, it's your boy, Arachnid Soul, intellectual, intense, and voracious as always. You hear that trademark opening bell. For 7 days, we've been hyping up the return of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Jushin Thunder Liger. Liger showed up at the building tonight. Liger was all set to go, but there was a backstage confrontation between Jushin Thunder Liger and the man you see him tagging up with in this tag team contest, El Samurai. Liger, El Samurai were removed from the building by request of New Japan Pro Wrestling upper management. Liger's not here. El Samurai is not here. What you are witnessing right now, this match footage, is from a match that took place at an untelevised event last night. We're bringing you those highlights right now. And when I say highlights, we're going to bring you damn near 95% of this awesome junior heavyweight tag team match. Jushin Thunder Liger and El Samurai once again have been removed from the building. We're not sure exactly what the issue is between those two wrestlers. Let's watch this contest from last night and let's see if we can figure it out. Now, just like you guys, I have not seen this match footage. This is my first time watching it, and I'm going to call the action for you. It's in tonight's main event. We'll talk about that later, but we will be joined by one Fight Night's finest for commentary. Legal now in the ring, wearing all white, is Minoru Tanaka. This is a man who less than a month ago challenged Jushin Thunder Liger for that IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. It's in the Throwdown library if you missed it, and it was that night that Minoru Tanaka wrestled a time limit draw with Jushin Thunder Liger. His tag team partner, now in the ring, in the long black pants, is one Naomichi Marufuji from Pro Wrestling Noah. I'm going to run through the history of Naomichi Marufuji and Jushin Thunder Liger one more time. It was 1 year ago that Naomichi Marufuji defeated Liger for that IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. 6 months later, in a return match, Jushin Thunder Liger defeated Naomichi Marufuji to recapture that championship. It was at Wrestle Kingdom that Liger and Marufuji did battle one more time with Jushin Thunder Liger's championship on the line. Jushin Thunder Liger. It took a series of brainbusters. It took a series of Liger bombs, but Jushin Thunder Liger was able to come out on top in that contest. Let's get a quick plug in. It's tonight's main event. It's coming up following these match highlights. It's going to be that Catchweight Championship Tournament, round number 1. Scott Flash Norton will take on Jun Akiyama. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Now back to the action in the ring. Jushin Thunder Liger, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. You see Minoru Tanaka, the other man in the ring. Liger looking for that backdrop driver, backflip through by Minoru Tanaka. Boot from Liger, backhand knife edge chop. And there's a boot from Tanaka. Liger shoots in, double leg takedown. Picks the ankle, spinning toe hold. Nope, inside cradle, small package. 1, 2. Liger kicks out. Great catch as catch can. Great chain wrestling. Great technical wrestling we're seeing on display here tonight in this awesome junior heavyweight tag team contest. Minoru Tanaka with that flying Minoru special number 1, that flying Juji Gatami. Full arm dragon twist. Minoru Tanaka somersaults through, front handspring, kip up, full arm dragon twist of his own. Liger catches the forearm, sits out Fujiwara armbar. Jushin Thunder Liger in control, switches into the modified Rings of Saturn. Liger back to his vertical base down. Minoru Tanaka being picked up. Liger sends Minoru Tanaka into the corner. Backhand knife edge chop. Minoru Tanaka on spaghetti legs. Jushin Thunder Liger now looking for the hammerlock throw. Irish whip. Tanaka comes back, eats the shote. Muay Thai roundhouse kick from Tanaka. Tanaka now on the offense. Shoots Jay Liger off to the corner. Liger gets the boot up. Liger comes out with the drop kick. Does not score. Minoru Tanaka in a position here to capitalize. Misses that drop kick. And we see your IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion tag out to his partner tonight, El Samurai. Once again, the chain wrestling from Minoru Tanaka. Minoru Tanaka out of that arm wringer. Spinning leg lariat, spin heel kick. Minoru Tanaka there. It looked like there was a tag, but there was not. Tanaka still the legal man. Cinches El Samurai up top. Avalanche style, front face lock. Avalanche brainbuster from Minoru Tanaka. Some people call Minoru Tanaka heat. Some people remember when Minoru Tanaka was teamed up with Jushin Thunder Liger and a number of other wrestlers in the CTU. That's the Control Terrorism Unit. That is a pro wrestling faction that Jushin Thunder Liger started years ago. It was in 2006 that both Minoru Tanaka and Jushin Thunder Liger traveled across the sea. They ended up in Orlando, Florida, working for TNA, working for Impact Wrestling, where they both competed in the 2006 World X Cup. Back to the action now. Minoru Tanaka with the arm wringer, snaps it off on El Samurai. Collar and elbow tie up that time. Not quite center ring. Side headlock from Minoru Tanaka. El Samurai has the counter, counters out with the Pentium backbreaker. Beautifully executed, follows that up with the camel clutch. A combination we've seen in the United States, in Impact Pro, in TNA, in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and most notably in Ring of Honor by one Roderick Strong. The backbreaker, and then following that up with a camel clutch or a Boston Crab. Nice snap suplex there. And follows up with that knee drop across the skull. Release belly to back. Release German suplex from Tanaka. Tanaka shooting the half. Lateral press did not even get a 1 count. Boot to the gut. Minoru Tanaka backing off and now does tag out to Naomichi Marufuji. El Samurai taunting there. Eats that drop kick. Maybe thinking twice about that taunt there. El Samurai trying to get back in control here. Can't quite get Naomichi Marufuji where he wants him. Did score with that last forearm. Picks his man up, and it's a belly-to-back suplex, and Naomichi Marufuji kips up. DDT that time from El Samurai. El Samurai back in control now, looking to put this match away. Greco-Roman backdrop driver does not connect. Naomichi Marufuji scores with that forearm shiver. Basement-style dropkick to the dome of El Samurai. Forearm shiver to the kidneys of Naomichi Marufuji. Marufuji now with a beautifully executed vertical brainbuster, aka the vertical suplex. Picks up El Samurai, shot to the back, forearm shiver. Samurai looking to come back, eats the boot. And there's an enziguri from Naomichi Marufuji. Marufuji picking his man back up. Drops back into the inverted triangle choke. Naomichi Marufuji looking to put this thing away with the submission. Does not get the tap out. El Samurai now attempting to roll to safety. It's Naomichi Marufuji dropping the elbow and now transitioning back into the camel clutch we talked about moments ago. Jushin Thunder Liger looking on and yelling instructions to his tag team partner. Scooping a slam. No! El Samurai floats through. Elbow between the shoulder blades. Shoots Naomichi Marufuji off to the corner. Instead, he tags out to Jushin Thunder Liger. Naomichi Marufuji shot off. Capo kick misses. That capo kick scores. Once again, you are watching highlights from an untelevised match last night. Jushin Thunder Liger now with Naomichi Marufuji in the Especial de Rito Romero. Rito Romero sleeper here, the modified Dragon sleeper, and Naomichi Marufuji gets out. Marufuji does not score with that forearm shiver, instead gets caught once again in that sit-out Fujiwara armbar into the modified rings of Saturn. We saw that earlier on. Liger was successful with that earlier on, and he was successful with it once again. Naomichi Marufuji gonna fly. Double springboard moonsault. Follows up with the elbow drop. What beautiful agility on the part of Naomichi Marufuji. The man trained years ago in the All Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo by one Mitsuharu Misawa. Liger comes back, eats the dropkick, almost shades of the phenomenal AJ Styles that time by Naomichi Marufuji. That Irish whip in the dropkick. Naomichi Marufuji off the top. Look for the Scud Missile dropkick. Liger sidesteps, pin, 1 count. The reverse guillotine choke. Some people remember the late, great Owen Hart when he was trained towards the end of his career by Dan the Beast Severn, and that was a move that Dan the Beast Severn taught the legendary Owen Hart. Owen Hart, one of the best technical wrestlers probably in the last 30 years in this sport of professional wrestling. Liger now picking up Naomichi Marufuji, full head of steam. Sit out Liger bomb. Cover. Not even a 1 count on that trademark finisher of Jushin Thunder Liger. Liger with a series of finishing moves at Wrestle Kingdom before he put Naomichi Marufuji away. There's a brainbuster. That sheer drop trademark brainbuster from Liger. I think Liger wanted to fly, maybe looking shooting star press, but Naomichi Marufuji already back up to his feet. Liger, not to be deterred, picks up Naomichi one more time. Sheer drop, brainbuster. Liger needs to go for a cover and does. Lateral press. Only got a 1 count. You see El Samurai drop off the ring skirt there. 2-on-1 wrist control by Naomichi Marufuji and the fireman's carry we just saw. Now tagging back out to Minoru Tanaka. Liger comes in. Drop kick to the back of Naomichi Marufuji as Minoru Tanaka fires up. Liger now with the underarm spin into the inverted Kimura lock. Liger sends Minoru Tanaka off to the corner. Liger backs up, tags out to El Samurai. Minoru Tanaka shoots Liger off to the ropes. And another drop kick, that time the patella drop kick, the patella aka the kneecap. Beautifully executed Frankensteiner there from El Samurai. One of El Samurai's finishing moves, we see the rolling knee bar now. We've talked before about the amazing technical wrestling of Minoru Tanaka. Tanaka can also fly, and we'll see that here off the top. Scores with that top turnbuckle knee drop. Minoru Tanaka picking up his man, El Samurai. One more time, shoots in, schoolboy. But El Samurai was in the ropes. El Samurai back up, blocks the boot, back heel trip, takes a shot on Naomichi Marufuji, runs in, schoolboy, there's a receipt. Did not get a 3 count, but sending a message to Minoru Tanaka. Tanaka rushes over to the corner. I don't think he got the tag there. It almost looked like he got the tag, but he did not. Minoru Tanaka, El Samurai, both still the 2 legal men in this contest. Axe Bomber, Lariato in the corner. Minoru Tanaka sent off again. Lariato! And once again, Minoru Tanaka is reeling here. Tornado DDT coming off. No! El Samurai thrown off. Minoru Tanaka back on the offense. Boot from El Samurai. Short diving lariat slash forearm that time. Drop Minoru Tanaka. Minoru Tanaka, hammerlock thrown to the far side, leaps up, there it is, Frankensteiner, wait a minute, sunset flip, 1, 2, Minoru Tanaka and Naomichi Marufuji get the Duke. Now is that why we saw that brawl backstage between Liger and El Samurai earlier? Folks, it's main event time next. Catch weight tournament, Scott Flash Norton, Jun Akiyama, another return bout from Wrestle Kingdom. Stay tuned, it's happening right now. You see that graphic on the screen. It's in 2 weeks. It's in 14 days. It's February 13th. It's the return of the man, in my opinion, who was one half of a 5-star match at Wrestle Kingdom. It's the return of your reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champion. That's right. It's the return of Kenta Kobashi. Do not miss it. It was on that massive pay-per-view. It took place at that massive supercard. It was the Dream Partner Tag Team match between Masahiro Chono and his Dream Partner taking on Jun Akiyama and Akiyama's Dream Partner.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see the hottest battle of Great Wrestling. Scott Norton from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
We saw that Jun Akiyama picked Dan Gan, a legend from FMW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Extreme Championship Wrestling in the United States. That's right, he picked Masato Tanaka. In the corner of Masahiro Chono, it was none other than the man making his way down the aisle right now. It was Scott Flash Norton. We're going to get into some of the details of that match and our main event match, as I see Fight Night next to me now putting on the headset as we wait for the arrival of the opponent in this Catchweight Championship match, as we wait for Jun Akiyama.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see the hottest battle of Great Wrestling. Jun Akiyama from Pro Wrestling Noah.
What a tremendous showing it was for this man, Jun Akiyama, at Wrestle Kingdom. We talked a couple of moments ago about that Dream Partner Tag Team match, that bloody brawl. It was no disqualification. It was a bloodbath, and at the end of the night, it was the man you see making his way down to the ring. It was Jun Akiyama with a jackknife, with a delayed vertical suplex into a power slam that pinned Scott Flash Norton in Masahiro Chono's retirement match. Masahiro Chono was scheduled to be in this tournament. He's obviously now retired. He picked his replacement. He picked a man who joined him years ago in the New World Order in the United States, in the New World Order in Japan. He picked Scott Flash Norton. This is a grudge match. Let's see what unfolds. Yoshinari Ogawa versus Takeshi Morishima last week right here on Throwdown. If you haven't seen that match, please, after you watch this video, go back and watch it in the Throwdown library. It was the first round Catchweight Championship tournament match. That night, we saw Takeshi Morishima advance into round number 2. What we're about to see right now is another first round match. You see the brackets are empty there in the middle. Those wrestlers to be announced beginning February 13th when Throwdown returns. Now, let's go to our main event. You hear that opening bell. You know who this is. It's your boy, Arachnid Soul, intellectual and voracious as always. Joined tonight, as you guys requested, by Fight Night's finest, the Sophist commentator. Fight Night, what's going on?
What is going on, Arachnid? And thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about these two men in the ring. In the black singlet, early Larry at that time, in the black singlet, you see fighting out of the United States, Scott Flash Norton, a man that many people recognize from WCW Monday Nitro and all of those great WCW NWO cross-promotional Nitros and pay-per-views as he takes on, in the white trunks, Jun Akiyama. Now let's talk about the fact this is somewhat of a grudge match. Let's talk about the fact that these two men met at Wrestle Kingdom. In that tag team match, Scott Flash Norton was the dream mystery partner of now retired Masahiro Chono. Chono was supposed to be in this match. Chono was supposed to be in this Catchweight Championship tournament. Chono retired, and he gave that position, that bracket slot, to Scott Flash Norton. Now let's talk a little bit, Fight Night, about the difference, and I know you call boxing, but the difference in the pacing between junior heavyweights. Wait a minute, we see Jun Akiyama at ringside getting that ball bet. We saw that
Is that legal?
No, it's not. Short lariat, lateral press.
I can only mean this man has bad intentions. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does with that stick.
Well, we can talk about bad intentions. He brought out that baseball bat. We remember at Wrestle Kingdom, Masahiro Chono, and if you haven't seen the footage, please go back, watch that bloody brawl, fans. Masahiro Chono going ringside, getting that foreign object, or for the Ted Turner fans, that international object, bringing it into the ring and assaulting Jun Akiyama. And Scott Norton also assaulted Jun Akiyama in that no DQ match. This is not a no DQ match, but these two men looking to prove a point. Jun Akiyama, for the second time in a couple of weeks, looking to defeat Scott Flash Norton. Scott Flash Norton, his return. Wait a minute, we see that trademark exploder suplex as Scott Norton rolls to the outside. Scott Flash Norton looking to prove the point that he can defeat Jun Akiyama. Now let's get back to what I was saying, Fight Night. I know you call boxing, but can you tell us the difference between the pacing of maybe a featherweight or a welterweight versus a heavyweight fighter?
You'll see a lot more punches in a boxing match and a lot more combinations. And I assume you'll see the same thing in a wrestling match. You'll probably see more quick rushes and quick little flurries being thrown out instead of so many power moves like we're seeing here tonight from these two heavyweights. So the pacing is extremely different. The quickness of it and the effectiveness of it is completely on two different scales and two different levels.
Well, and let's talk about the background of Scott Flash Norton. Scott Flash Norton was actually a guy who, not officially in any official capacity, as we see that suplex brainbuster back into the ring over that top cable, Scott Flash Norton in kind of an unofficial capacity was a power training kind of strength athlete, and he was an arm wrestling champion. He was actually the United States arm wrestling champion. It was in the mid-90s when, hired by WCW president Eric Bischoff, that Scott Flash Norton jumped ship to WCW. He feuded with Sting briefly. He then formed a tag team called Fire and Ice, and I think he's probably best known for that tag team with Marcus Alexander, Buff Bagwell, that tag team known as Vicious and Delicious. We see the side headlock here from Jun Akiyama. 4 minutes and some change into the match, side headlock takeover. Scott Flash Norton back up, loses his balance, drops down. Fight Night, let me ask you here, make a prediction. Who's going to win this thing?
I'm definitely going with Scott Flash Norton, unless if you're going to see some more submission moves by Akiyama for going ahead and wearing him down and wearing down that endurance so he can't perform all those power moves with the same level of effectiveness. But if Scott Norton is able to keep putting on this dominant performance that we are seeing from him tonight, it should be an easy win for Scott Flash Norton.
Irish whip to the corner. Jun Akiyama came back, short forearm, and there's another lariato. I'm actually going to have to disagree with you, though. I think that Jun Akiyama, just like at Wrestle Kingdom, has Scott Flash Norton's number. I think it's only... Look at this cocky cover. I think it's only a matter of time before Jun Akiyama, for the second time, can put away Scott Flash Norton. But let's keep watching. Let's see how this thing unfolds. Both men to the outside. It looks like Jun Akiyama now trying to get a little breather, trying to put himself...
You see him running from Norton. trying to play a little possum, stepping in and out of the ring. I was expecting to see some type of move from him, and Norton, as almost to make a point, sends him right back outside of the ring.
Well, let me tell you something. For anyone who's been inside a wrestling ring, you've got 2x4s covering the ring, you've got metal planks around the rim of the ring, and you've got a thin canvas covering the 2x4s. As hard as the ring is, it's not as hard as that entrance plank, as now the two brawl outside. And let's hope we don't see any slams. And there's another lariat.
Another clothesline. You gotta appreciate what you're seeing from Norton here. Just constantly attacking that head, constantly putting down Akiyama, and constantly showing that he is the stronger fighter.
And Scott Norton, almost in the sense of kind of, if you guys remember the Pegasus Kid Chris Benoit. Benoit, a guy who would take lariats or clotheslines from the left, from the right. We see the same thing from Norton. He was an arm wrestling champion, and he did not arm wrestle southpaw. He wrestled with his right arm, but so strong is he in the left arm as well. Irish whip that time. Jun Akiyama comes back. The lariat actually missed that time. Some of that poor timing on the part of Scott Flash Norton. Norton did connect, and now a rear chin lock. Now let me ask you, Fight Night, you've commentated many boxing matches. You've seen matches where one guy gets dominated in the beginning and then comes back. We've seen Scott Flash Norton dominate this match, and you made the prediction that he will go on to win this. What do you think the chances are that Jun Akiyama can still come back and capture victory here tonight?
Well, you see him do that reversal into another submission move. I think the submission moves will be the key for him. He has to wear down Norton. He has to slow down this onslaught, this attack, this pace that Scott Norton has set for this match, and he has to start being able to take away the strength of Norton if he wants to come back and win these matches. Probably target the legs a little bit. Probably target a different part than trying to trade with him up top, because it has not been working out for him too well tonight.
Wait a minute, jackhammer. That's the move that Jun Akiyama defeated Norton with at Wrestle Kingdom, as Jun Akiyama now drops back into this modified Juji Gatami. And let's talk about the title histories of these two individuals. Jun Akiyama, some people call him the savior of pro wrestling Noah, a former GHC World Heavyweight Champion. That is the top prize in pro wrestling Noah. If we talk about Scott Flash Norton, we can talk about a man who right here in New Japan Pro Wrestling, as we see the Boston Crab, who right here in New Japan Pro Wrestling is a former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Now, the significance of a man born and raised and trained in the United States winning that IWGP Championship is massive. There have been a very short few who have been successful in capturing New Japan Pro Wrestling's top prize. And Fight Night, we do see the submissions here. We see the ground game. It looks like Scott Flash Norton now actually has Jun Akiyama in a fish hook.
You see the submissions, man, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from Norton. Not only has he hit him with a bunch of power moves tonight, but now he's really breaking him down with those submissions. This way, when he goes back to those power moves later on in this match, it will be extremely more effective, because he doesn't have that same level of endurance. He doesn't have that same will to fight back. Those submissions will break a man's pride. And we're seeing a lot of submission moves from Norton with that Boston Crab, all that weight on the back of Akiyama.
Well, and when you talk about breaking a man's pride, I've heard that mentioned so much over the years. I think back to a classic match. I want to say it was TNA Turning Point one of those years. It was Nigel McGuinness, a.k.a. Desmond Wolfe, taking on Kurt Angle. They had a 3 stages of hell match inside a steel cage. And the big thing that night was, I'm going to break your spirit, I'm going to break your body. There's a power slam. Hook of the near leg that time and a kick out. Have to wonder if that would have been a 3 count had he hooked the far leg. But yes, I think Scott Norton is trying to break down the spirit of Jun Akiyama and then might go in and actually defeat him. It was a very lackluster pinfall on the part of Scott Norton, almost looking to maybe not even win the match, but let me tell all the wrestling fans out there, and Jun Akiyama sent face first into that ring post. Scott Norton wants blood, just like at Wrestle Kingdom. Let me tell all of the viewers out there something that I don't think professional wrestling announcers, commentators, play-by-play men, call them what you will, put over enough. When you're in the ring and your stamina starts to drop and your endurance starts to drop, sometimes you'll see somebody go for either a lackluster pin, or sometimes you'll see somebody go for a pin and then go for another pin, even though the other guy just kicked out. And the question is, why go for a lackluster pin? Or why try to pin a guy 2 or 3 times who just kicked out? The simple truth of the matter is, it takes a lot of energy to kick out. Wait a minute, Scott Flash Norton, call it, Fight Night.
There goes that power bomb on the outside of the ring. That unforgiving concrete that Akiyama met to the floor with.
I mean, simply brutal. And now we see the ground submission. The kneeling, rear naked choke, and again has him fish hook. But like I was saying, you take away a man's stamina, his endurance, when you force him to keep kicking out. One of the things they do, if you're training in pro wrestling, is your trainer's going to have every one of those other students, or maybe him, cover you, hook legs, cradles, over and over again, and the second you kick out, the next individual is going to pin you. That's what Scott Flash Norton was trying to do, I believe, earlier with that cocky pin. Now what I believe he's trying to do was take off the head of Jun Akiyama. Let me ask you, Fight Night, what do you think the turning point in this match can be for Jun Akiyama, if there is one?
He's going to have to take away the momentum of Scott Norton. He's going to have to come with a quick rush, something that's going to put him back down onto that canvas like that lariat we saw earlier. And he hit another signature move there. We seen him going with a lot of head bashes earlier against that unforgiving steel pole. And we seen him also, once again, hit his head against the steel pole and then go for another head submission. Once he gets in the ring and he hits that lariat, when he hits that unforgiving clothesline, when he bounces off the rope, it's going to be good night.
Jun Akiyama's a bloody mess, and I believe he's out on his feet in boxing. It'd be a standing 8 count. Norton with the jackhammer, the same move that Jun Akiyama beat Norton with last time. There's a receipt, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Flash Norton will advance in the tournament. He's 1-1 with Jun Akiyama. They both defeated the other man with that jackhammer, that corkscrew vertical delayed suplex. And Fight Night, I would like to thank you, Fight Night's finest, the Sophist Commentator, youtube.com/Fight Night's finest, to see more of this man, one of the best commentators on YouTube. As you just saw, Scott Flash Norton has advanced into round 2 of your Throwdown Catchweight Championship Tournament. We will announce more members of this tournament in weeks to come. February 13th. Mark the date on your calendar. You don't want to miss it. Share this video with your friends. Share this information with your friends. That's the night, February 13th, February 13th, February 13th, that your IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Kenta Kobashi, returns to Throwdown. For Fight Night's finest, it's your boy, Arachnid Soul, intellectual, voracious, intense, passionate, and informative as always, saying once again, thank you, and good night.